Elders Vision. Hold on a second. We might have her on the line. Let's see. KAOS.
Hi, is this Brian?
Yeah, hey.
This is Tara.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Good. I was just saying I think that I got a mix up with the time zone with you, but I'm not sure. But I just appreciate you calling in. We got about 25 minutes of the show, and maybe we can do more next week. But
okay. Sure. Sorry about that. I was thinking it was 7 o'clock my time.
Yeah. No. It's good. It's all this zones. My mother always says, I don't know why it has to be different on both sides, but again, I appreciate you calling. We could chat for 25 minutes if you like, and share some poems. And first of all, I'd love to offer the time to introduce yourself. And again, thank you so much for calling.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me, Brian. My name's Tara, and Tara Trudell, and I've started reading my poetry out loud, I'd like to say, over the past 6 months. And really past 6 months, and I've been documenting that, kind of trying to find my flow. And so it's really a treat to come onto your show and to read them. I'm a mother of 4, and, back at school, I'm interested in film, and I'm majoring at the Media Arts Department in Las Vegas, New Mexico, at Highlands. For my BFA in media art, and with an emphasis in film and audio. And while seeking this degree over the past year, I realized it wasn't just a degree for a grade, for a project, that there's actually an art to film, and there's an art to audio, or there can be. And somewhere in there, I'm just trying to weave some poetry and see what happens. And what's been happening is that I've been kind of documenting Earth, how I see Earth to be, and my love for Earth, and for humanity, really, the indigenous people, and writing poetry about these feelings. So I can share one that I wrote called Occupy Earth. And what I did this summer is I documented myself reading in different places, public as in with people, or public as in with trees, to just, I think that when we send our vibration, our voice, our tone, that we send something out into the universe, and how powerful we are when we do that, whether we share it with people or with the elements of nature. And that is our connection to Earth, and that's our power. But they don't teach us this. We're going to have to discover it on our own, and be so willing to discover that we sometimes risk a lot about ourselves. So anyway, I'm going to start with Occupy Earth. Occupy Earth. Stand her ground, protect her veins, our roots, shielding her from poisonous injections of man, chemicals infiltrating natural minerals, rising to surfaces, causing confusion, natural selection, manipulated for profit and greed, a mindset that does not comprehend how damaging raping the earth can be to a woman and her people. Occupy Earth, stand her ground. Do not let them take from our mother the future of our children, the legacy of our ancestors, the present of our moment. They lied to us, feeding us, misleading us with a hunger we don't need. Created statistics by big gas and oil companies, run by hungry, overfed, greedy mother frackers. They deceive our children, painting fairy tales, a dizzy land of confusion, raising them to believe sabotaging Earth Mother is all part of their progress in their made-up society. Occupy Earth, every color together, our one last stand. We could weave our way around Earth, protecting her in every corner, in every heart. That was one that I wrote because of what's going on to our Earth, and I had somebody tell me I should trademark the Occupy Earth part or something, copyright it so I could own it. And I thought, that's kind of crazy. I can't own a word, but I understand where they're coming from. I think that we need to really start occupying Earth. So stepping away from a lot of the material. There's the material comforts that we think we need, but yet we really don't right now. And I have people, good friends, who say, well, the earth will shake us off. She'll be okay. And my response to that is it's still not okay to hurt her. It's still not okay to damage her. And, it's been going on too long. It's been going on for 500 years. And I really just intuitively feel that she really can't take much more of it. And we just kind of need to start changing that however we do it, whether we do it through art, whether we do it through poetry, whether we do it through, going to these meetings against fracking or the pipelines that are going along our shores. We just have to all start doing something.
I totally agree with you, and know that myself, this intuitively also, I can feel like that the earth is she's gonna show us what we need to do, but what we should be doing in the first place.
Right.
And
right.
And that what you just said, I think that we all can do something. Not everybody's gonna be doing. We don't have to do like a lot, but if we all do a little. Right, and I'm a good example of that. I kind of have been living my life not doing anything, but trying to live a nice life. And then in the middle of my life, I had to reevaluate my life to decide, with 4 children to raise, how I was really going to raise them, and alone, and what I was going to do for them. And so I went back to school and I started studying filmmaking and audio and my poetry. I finally started to share it. So, I didn't know I had anything to offer. But when it came down, when I put my ego aside and realized that it really wasn't about me, it was about this connection I had with Earth. There is a connection. We all can have that. We can all tap into it. It's something they don't encourage us to cultivate or learn, but I think our ancestors were onto something, and when that becomes your priority in life, teach your children differently. You start becoming more aware, more sensitive to your environment, more protective, more compassionate. And it's awesome what you're saying. And it's kind of like, if I can do that and I can offer that, and somebody can say, yeah, let's do this, and I go, okay, then let's do this. Let's just keep, there's that Maya Angelou quote, there's nothing to it but to do it, and sometimes I have to tell myself that when I don't want to do it, but I'm like, what else am I doing? I'm nothing but the vessel, for Earth and Creator, so why would I not give back? It took me a long time to figure this out, Brian, but it's really when I started thinking about what was going to be left for my children. Yeah. And, and this whole thing about, that I'd rather die fighting on my feet than, on my knees. And I think that if we're going to quote Zapata, we need to, be ready to die. Yeah. If we love Earth that much. And I'm not saying die like we're all going to die, but I'm just saying we really have to say, okay, what am I really going to teach my children? How passionate do they need to be about Earth? And the more damage they do, the more we need to find our passion in saving her. Yeah. Because she's, there's a lot of things that they're doing, and this government is not protecting her, and this government's all over the world that aren't doing it. And got to just speak bigger. I can read another poem. I just wanted to just say I'm sorry that everything you're saying, it just excites me because it's really important that one of the things that we have not been told or taught or whatever is that we all have a gift. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that I find mine soon, and being able to share it with the world, because I had a friend told me that once. He said the awareness that you feel is because you know what's going on. So take what you learn and gift it to the world, humanity, and trying to do that. And I know that that's one of the things, because as yourself, I got 2 kids too, and I want them to know that they came here and they do have a gift. And it's like you said, we have to set the ego aside and understand that I totally get what you're saying, that we have to stand up for Earth.
Yeah.
And
we really do, and I think I say that with a sense of urgency. We don't have another 4 years, to keep damaging her to the degree. And, it's just, I think the more in tune that we become and the more we want to cultivate that, it also brings a sensitivity that I acknowledge is to be part of the purpose, So if I could do that through poetry or through my photos or through just, talking about it, then that's what I'm giving back. And I say that from a personal point of view because I really feel like, I'm a woman that has 4 kids, raising them in this time. I don't have health insurance. And, my kids do because they're on Medicaid, and I'm a full-time student, and I had to deal with a lot of realities in my life, but I don't have health insurance. And so I usually I'm the last one to be taken care of. And I've done this pretty much all through their growing up years until the past couple of years when I realized that if something happened to me, then my children were never going to learn their true identity and their connection to Earth. So that's what motivated me to take care of myself. And by doing this, I didn't go to the pharmaceutical drugs. I did go to doctors, and I was told I was suffering from chronic stress, and they prescribed prescription drugs, and I just couldn't do it. And what I did do is I started going to the hot springs and kind of just showed up and said, here I am, well then heal me, because I have nothing left. I really crawled into the water and just said, here I am, and let's see if you work. And over time, I started feeling better. My strength was coming back, and my clarity and my focus, because we think of health as physical, but it's a tremendous amount of emotional health and spiritual health that we need to take care of as well. And I realized that I was starting to feel stronger, and in turn, I thought, how can you, when somebody gifts you with life, you have to give your life, give gift back. And I think that's what comes out of my poetry is me just trying to figure out a way to connect and represent everything that I'm talking about. So it's just constantly shifting and changing. So, yeah.
I know that what you're saying, it really resonates with me, because the more that you feed your spirit, that's what's inside you. It's not the body; it's the spirit that's there. And when we feed it, if we feel like we're 1,000 feet tall, like a redwood, and that's why it's really important for us to come back into that, that way, that spiritual way that all the ancestors understood since day one. That communion with Earth, the trees, everything that's around us, that feeds our spirit.
And that's how they were raising. That's how they were raising their children, and their children, and their children, and then it was, basically diluted out of the people, and to where it is now. And then, it's just broken, and everything's broken. It's like, but yet it can be fixed. I just feel like I'm teaching my children that, and my youngest is 6, and he has a favorite song from this group out in LA, and they said vulture in the song, and my son said, spirit song, Mom. They talk about the spirit bird. Because, you teach your child that a vulture could be an ugly bird, or you can teach your child that the vulture is a spirit bird that cleans the earth. And right there, you can teach them this way or that way. You can teach your child that earth and dirt is dirty, or you can teach your child that is essence and that is life, and stay in it. We have the choices as parents, and I know it's kind of hard to go up with this mentality, and this is why I guess time that we live with everything so techno and, fast and packaged. So it's going to take a lot of work, but when my kids tell me that they can, hear Mother Earth's heartbeat, then I feel like I'm a good parent. Or if they understand that bird's a spirit. Because now I know that if something happens to me today and I don't see them again, the seeds have been planted.
Right.
Yeah,
it's really important. Really important.
Yeah. It really is.
What,
It really is.
what other poem we going to hear? I'm excited.
I think we're going to read Woman Roar. Do not fear me, brother, man, lover, me reflecting, sister, earth, mother. I am fiery heat rising from deep within, eating heart, filling onto surfaces, creating life. I am stormy clouds, heavy with heart, releasing torrents of rain, expressive emotion, cleansing away lost thoughts and broken spirit. I am cool moonshine cascading from night sky. I am breeze that reaches for you. I am mighty wind challenging you. I am wide open spaces, a terrain to be explored. I am woman whispering her truth. I should not have to roar to be heard. Words falling softly from lips, having tasted the salt of Mother Earth's tears. Would you like me to read another one? I don't know what we're doing on time.
Oh, absolutely. We got 10 more minutes, but just before we get going, I would like it if we can possibly next week we can do an hour. I've been following you, through Facebook and your poems, and I just really have been enjoying them, and I just I'm
Thank you.
Grateful that you're sharing them, because it's important for me, anyways, to know other people feel what I feel.
Yes.
And sometimes I can't articulate it as well, but I but I feel it, and I appreciate what you're doing. So we got 10 minutes, and we can do whatever you like. So if you want to share another poem or talk a little bit about you and what you're doing, it's fine.
I can share another one, and then we can talk. And I would be honored to come back next Saturday or next Sunday and get the time right.
Okay.
Okay. I am trying to. I'm going to read this one. It kind of goes with Occupy Earth in a way, and this is what I want us all to start thinking about. Redefining poverty. Redefining poverty for you, for me, for them. Their misguided percentages taking our lack of income to their measure stick statistics. We don't exist as humans. We are lesser than. Yet, for you, for me, we both know. To them, we are above their percentages. Our words that flow, our feelings, our glow, enriched, we both live our lives connected, honoring earth, stars, and sky. We seek rivers, hide among trees, glisten in sunshine, laugh in rain. We found within each other we were never lost in the first place. Blessings, shifting riches. We hold earth outside, corporate closed doors, no price of purchase, no defining material moment for you, for me. We love among the poor. We gift continual gratitude, smiling from faraway hearts, holding down in a sold-out war. I can talk now if you want.
Sure.
I have this thing where I start reading, I can just keep reading, and I'm trying to learn how to read still, so sometimes I could go on. So.
No, that's beautiful that you just, that's how it flows. They keep following the lines and sharing. But I just want to know a little bit. Like you said, you've been. How long have you been writing?
I've been writing for a really long time. I've been writing probably since I'm going to say it probably started around 18, 19, that I started writing. And I did it because it just came and I started writing, but I didn't share, and I even took a poetry class and really liked it. And I just thought, well, I'll read poetry one day. That was my goal, was to read poetry and keep writing. I got married, I had kids, and then I went through a very difficult time for about 10 years, and I stopped writing. And when I came out of this period, it was just, I was a wreck, like a shell of a person, a shell of a woman, a shell of just really at a crossroads in my life. And then I started writing again, and it took a while. But, a 10-year break is a long break, and it was really a slow process. And then I started a Facebook thing because I went back to school of media arts, and I knew that I would need to understand technology, if I was going into this field. And that was one of the reasons I did it. And I had a good friend, Aaron Harville, a musician, say, he wasn't talking about Facebook, he was talking about life, like use it as a tool. I thought, what a great thing. So I took Facebook and used it as a tool, and by that I mean I just wanted to connect with people that fed me something, people that inspired, motivated, that I could feel some kind of connection that I was going to grow from. So then I met all these poets, and then I started writing poetry about things that were going on in the world, and just kept going and going. And so it's really helped me share my poetry. And I think that if we're going to raise our children in the social media technology world, we need to raise them to use it as a tool, that they do it to educate themselves, inspire themselves. They can have their friends, they can do all that other stuff. They also need to do that, but also for us, as adults and just people, and that we use it like a tool. And if a revolution can be started through the internet, we need to do it now before we're censored, because that's coming too. And we just need to be really aware that, everything that we're given, we need to use as a tool, but we also need to not hesitate, just go right out and, read poetry in public and in, forests and rivers and wherever your voice wants to flow. That we just need to be able to adapt, survive, sort of thing.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And that's what Native people have been doing since day one, adapting.
Right. I understand that. I understand more and more.
Yeah, as I get older,
more
too.
Connected, yeah. As we get older, and also I think, of course, because that's wisdom. It's a gift that we would be able to get older, but also I think if we just continue this connection, it just, to me, that just makes more sense, because it's not just about loving Earth and taking care of Earth. It's about the people that live on Earth, and the ones who are the oppressed ones are pretty much the indigenous people all around the world. Our people, the people, the human people, and it's still going on, and it bewilders me that it's still going on. But I'm like all this education, does it really matter if we're still dealing with things that had genocide 500 years ago? Does it matter? That iPad or iPod? No, it doesn't matter. We really need to start figuring out ways to save Earth and her occupants.
No, I hear you, and that's the thing that I have that bugs me a lot, is that it is still going on. It's not past. Yeah. It's not past tense, and I know, just as I can speak for myself, as I get older, I know that my responsibility is to put more emphasis on there, as what you were saying earlier. That's why I came on the air, make sure we have a voice, and that people can get a whole different perspective that was here long before anything got to these shores, and that perspective that we're all connected to, because we're all come from that. And I love that Lakota word, nasu, that seed. And so if we can just remember that, and how we do it, everyone, it's different. That's the gift that you're talking about. And I just think it's important for us to find it. Right.
And keep cultivating it. And just, I'm really honored that you like my poetry. And I've had people tell me that, and them just sharing that with me. And so then that's why I do it, because I can't stop doing it. It's really how I kind of keep going, and how I deal with life and situations is I have to write about it somehow. And I'm still learning how to do that. And I still want to add it to film, and I'm trying to figure that out. It's all part of this plan, I know. But I don't know the outcome. But I'm trusting my path to get me there.
Yeah, that's the big thing. We have to trust.
Right, you have to trust your path. I had a vision once, and I'll share this with you. And I had been working so hard on healing and healing and healing and all this stuff, and I was in the bathtub and just had this moment. I was laying there just trying to relax, and I had a vision of long dirt road. It was this long dirt road, and on either side were all these elderly people and young people, but they were Mayan, Aztec, Native American, indigenous. I have a lot of indigenous blood in my family, and they're all just looking at me, and there were no words spoken. It was just me looking back at them, and they all turned to look at me, and yet it was like the message was, what was spoken with just eyes, was that we are here. You keep praying for us, so we're here. We can't walk the path for you. I had to walk past them and through them. That was how I was going to get to my destination. Yeah. So in other words, I can keep praying for it to happen. I can keep, okay, please, lighting my stage and doing everything, but I had to walk that talk. I had to walk it, and it's not always easy. Sometimes it's alone, but, they're there. The ancestors are there.
Yeah,
they're there. They haven't left us, and we need to remember that.
Yeah.
Just have to call on them. I just want people to know that.
Yeah.
They're waiting.
Well, I appreciate you taking time, and we
sure.
Can we continue this next week? This
sure.
chat we're having, and I'm sorry about the mix-up. I still don't know. It's 6:00 here right now, so if we can go back 1 hour and call in at 5. I don't know what that would be your time.
We'll get it. Sure, we'll figure it out for sure.
Okay.
I don't know. It's 7:00 here now.
Okay, so it's one.
So we're just an hour apart. We're not 2 hours apart.
All right, so we'll talk next week.
Sure. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And it's 6:00. Mo is in the house. She's moving in as we speak. I want to thank Tara for calling in, and we will continue this conversation next week with her and share some more poetry. Thanks for listening. This is KAOS Radio.
Comments made during the preceding broadcast of No Bones About It do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff, management, or underwriters of KAOS Radio or the Evergreen State College. Opinions expressed were those of the host and of the guests on the program. If you would like to express another opinion, address your comments to the General Manager, KAOS, the Evergreen State College, Cab 101, 2700 Evergreen Parkway Northwest, Olympia, Washington, 98505. To arrange a time for your own commentary, contact the General Manager at 360-867-6895 during regular weekday business hours.